Howdy, brothers and sisters out there in YouTube land. This here's Grateful Panic, and I've got another video for you guys today. And today we are going to be taking a look at our brother Secret Agent BH's GEC number 38, the 38 Special in Indian Paintbrush Jig Bone. And before we get into that, let's go ahead and take a look at today's panic dump. And today, my modern folder carry was the Real Steel E571 in black wash finish, and this is an amazing little folder. I mean, it's super smooth, and this guy is courtesy of our brother David Vanderstelt. And I was also carrying David's GEC number 14 Tom's Choice Barlow in Gabon Ebony, and you guys can look forward to full reviews on both of those knives coming up very shortly. My fixed blade carry was the Bark River Knives Bravo 1.25 in A2 tool steel and antique ivory micarta handle scales. And the flashlight carry for today was the Olight S1R Baton 2. And that leads us into the What Am I Drinking segment. And today I'm drinking on a little bit of Hopsecutioner from Terrapin Beer Company, and this is a really tasty IPA from Athens, Georgia, home of the Bulldogs. And I'm also drinking on a little bit of Triple Tail. If you can see that glare is kind of funky. This is a tropical IPA, and this is from Sweetwater Brewing Company out of Atlanta, Georgia. So we got two Georgia brews going on today. And with that being said, that means it is time to get down to the nitty-gritty. Sorry about that. The knife of the hour, the knife that we've all been waiting for, or at least the knife that I've been waiting for, the review knife. And before we take a look at this review knife, guys, I just wanted to say I'm trying something a little different with the lighting. So if you could, I would really appreciate if you drop a comment down below and let me know if this is better, worse, if you like it, don't like it. Just you know, give me a little feedback so I know if we're on the right track or the wrong track, and I can make some adjustments. And this is potentially, if it works out good, it might be a long-lasting thing. If it's just getting us by, then this should hold us until I'm able to order you know, a completely different little lighting system, and that's the one that our good friend and brother JB recommended. JB over at Big Red EDC, and it works great for him because his videos are crystal clear. So, you know, if this isn't good to go, or, you know, even if it's just a little bit better than the old setup, then we're definitely going with the setup that JB recommended. So, like I said, just, you know, give me some feedback on whether you like this, you don't like this, and we'll just go from there, guys, because I want to bring you the best video quality I possibly can. So let's go ahead and take a look at this gorgeous slip joint. Go ahead and dump this guy out, get the tube out of the way. And There she is, fellas and ladies. And before we get to the meat and taters of this knife, let's go ahead and get the boring stuff out of the way and get you guys some measurements, materials, and a weight. And we are looking at a closed length of 3.8 inches. We've got an open length of 6 3/4 inches. We have a blade length of 2.9 inches, and we've got a cutting edge of 2 5/8 inches. Let's go ahead and give you guys a weight. And this thing is just feather light. I mean, it is extremely light. It's just a great EDC slip joint. And we're looking at 2.2 ounces, which converts to 63 grams for our good friends across the pond. And this 2.9 inch long blade is in 1095 carbon steel with a polished finish. We have nickel silver bolsters and end caps, and we have a nickel silver unexcelled shield. We've got brass pins and brass liners. You can see that on either side of that back spring. And these bolsters and end caps are really cool. They're pinched and lined, which I think adds, you know, just an extra bit of class to this already really classy knife. On the blade, on the mark side, you've got Northfield unexcelled trademark. You've got Northfield unexcelled made in USA on the tang. On the pile side, you've got GEC TIW on the tang, which stands for Great Eastern Cutlery Titusville Ironworks, and you've got the model number 381117. And this cover material is absolutely gorgeous, in my opinion. I mean, this is the Indian paintbrush jig bone, and you've got this nice red color with some orange and some yellow kind of mixed in there, and I mean, it's just very striking, very beautiful. The fit and finish on this guy is fantastic. The transitions are just smooth as silk. You've got 0 gaps between the liners and the back spring, and between the liners and the cover material. There is 0 blade play in this guy. I mean, it is just a solid pivot. And I've actually had some GEC knives. It was very unfortunate because it was my first Great Eastern Cutlery knife, and it kind of gave me a bad taste, like right out of the gate. But luckily I got over that, and I'm glad I did, because, you know, just these knives are just an experience in and of themselves. But the first GEC I ever owned was a number 43 Oregon Trapper, and it was in the jigged Brazilian cherry wood, the beaver tail version. And the first one I got had a pretty significant amount of blade play. It had, you know, a pretty good deal of you could see daylight between the back spring and the liners, and I was very disappointed. And so I contacted the distributor that I bought it from, and they said, send it on back, we'll send you another one. And the replacement that they sent me, it had a pretty decent amount of blade play, and you could see daylight between the back spring and the liners. And I was just like, I mean, it wasn't a huge amount. It was still a really good functioning knife, but to me, it was, I'd heard all these great things about GEC, and I was expecting perfection, and this knife was definitely not perfection. So, I was disappointed, and I traded the knife off, and I was up front with the guy I traded it to, and said, hey, there's a little bit of blade play. There's, you can see a little bit of daylight between the liners and the back spring, and he was cool with it. He was like, no, I know what to expect, because, on further research and feedback, actually from one of our family members, they said basically that was a common problem with the Titty version of the number 43, that a lot of people had issues with blade play and gaps, and apparently Great Eastern Cutlery listened to the feedback from their customers and fixed it when it came to the number 43s in Northfield trim. And I've actually handled a 43 in Northfield trim thanks to our good friend JR Rodriguez. And I mean, it was absolutely phenomenal. So, they definitely listened to the feedback of their customers, and they fixed the problem. And just to let you know, BH, you're not going to have that issue with this knife. This is a pristine example of GEC's awesome attention to detail and their great quality of cutlery. And I will say, when this first came out of the tube, it was a tiny bit sluggish. We'll check out the walk and talk right now, which it is pretty daggum phenomenal. But the walk was a tiny bit sluggish straight out of the tube, which is not uncommon with slip joint knives, because you're going to get a little bit of grit and grime in the pivot from the manufacturing process. But I used a little bit of KPL and some compressed air and flushed that pivot out, and it is good to go now. I know some people use the hot water method to flush out the pivot, and I'm not a big fan of that. I don't really care to subject a carbon steel knife to water intentionally. So I'd rather use a good quality lubricant and some compressed air and just kind of blow any little bit of grit and grime that might be in that pivot out. And I hope you guys can hear that, but that is just an awesome walk and talk on this guy. It does not have a half stop, so you're not going to get that little Roadrunner stop right there with this guy. But like I said, the walk and talk is absolutely phenomenal. Basically everything about this knife is phenomenal. And I saw this knife on a couple of different websites, and it kind of caught my eye, but I was like, that's not my thing. I probably wouldn't enjoy that knife. But getting it in hand, it's an absolute joy to handle. It's got this beautiful serpentine pattern, which, I mean, to me, it's really, really striking. But when you get it in hand, I mean, the ergonomics on this guy are outrageous. I mean, it just kind of just melts into your hand. I mean, it just feels like it was made specifically for your hand. And without the graciousness of BH, I never would have had this knife in hand, more than likely. And I'm glad I did, because I'm a huge fan of this guy. So I'm sure that that pretty much lets you guys know that this knife definitely gets the Grateful Panic seal of approval, which, as we all know, is 1 3/4 thumbs up. So, again, thank you. Oh, and you guys need to check out the slip that came with it. This is an absolutely beautiful buffalo hide slip that BH got with this knife, and I think that is just a gorgeous slip, and it complements the knife beautifully. I mean, that to me, that just goes so well together, and I really dig it. So thank you, Secret Agent, for allowing me to handle, carry, and review this knife. I am forever grateful. And to all you other family members out there, I am so grateful for all your views, for you guys taking time out of your busy schedules to listen to me ramble on and on about sharp, pointy, stabby things. I appreciate all your comments, all your likes. And I mean, it just means the world to me, guys. And this is an awesome family. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. The Grateful Panic family is the cream of the crop, and the knife community has just awesome, amazing people in it. And like I said, you guys are the cream of the crop, and I appreciate the crap out of you. So, with that being said, guys, this is Grateful Panic signing off. And remember, stay alert, stay alive, and hey, how about do something nice for somebody today? Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.